Trying to watch this movie, you heard? Spin the yard. Champion. Brooklyn.
Let's pack a million.
Y'all already know the vibration. This is what we do, you heard? I got bars too, you heard? All my niggas locked down, listen up. Keep your fucking head up, cause ain't nobody on the other side gon' spare us. Lock us down and ban us from getting our bands up. So fuck it, we taking everything, now get your hands up. Box time, thought of suicide, about to hang it up. God whispered in my ear, boy, you better man up. Went a different route, came home, hit the narrow road. Coldest winter ever, heart froze, stood 10 toes. Down wildin' in the county of Kings, where the boys move, work is 9 to 5 ain't a dream. Trying to get out the projects, get straight to the cream like anyone. Jay-Z, Jordan, Tyson, Biggie, Buster, ridiculous. I am quick to rush, plenty fifths on us. 6 years for assault and 7 years for the soft. 8 whips back to back, pulling up to the court like fuck it. Coulda took 9 cause I never dime. Look at Bimmy the rat, he been a snitch in his prime. I ain't lying, I ain't even come up with that line. My wife did while she was chefing, chicken up with the time. And ain't no nigga in the world you know thorough than this. To put locks on the game with straight bars like Kiss. They try to lay me down and shut me up cause I be fucking up they bucks. Only question for these chumps is when you gon' get off my nuts. Fuckers, spin the yard, nigga. Ha. Ha. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Champ, aka Champion Style TV, aka Mr. Spin the Yard. I'm back with another dope episode. Before I begin, I just want to say, make sure y'all stay cool out there, man. Also, like, share, subscribe, comment, and all that. Champion Style TV. Listen, today I have a super legend. Okay, not in the making, not none of that. It's just legendary status, plain and simple. I got a great co-host with me, my man Dough from I Don't Care What You Think podcast. We don't care what you think, you understand? So we mixing this thing up a little bit. You know what, I think it's very important. Me and the legend I'm talking about was just discussing how important it is to infuse other black businesses with each other, right? Facts. In order to overcome the institution. All right, we anti-establishment over here. Yeah. But I need everybody over there to blow your whistles, pause, clap your hands and everything for my man, the super legend, Chris Gotti.
I'm gonna take these off.
Yeah, take them off. You gotta look you in your eye when they talk to you.
Yeah, I want you to see this.
Word, how you feeling, bro?
Man, good seeing you again.
Good seeing you again too. It's been a few years, but
It's been a minute, but we working. That's all that is.
That is.
Actually, I seen you one more time before. We had mentioned the Jay Prince interview, but I did see you one more time after that. You interviewed Ja.
Oh yeah. When I was over there, yeah. You was there. You was in and out. We was trying to pull you into the chair, but you was like, nah. That's a fact. So
what up, Rule?
What up, Rule? Yeah, salute to Rule, the whole MURDA Inc., everybody out there. So before we get into anything else as far as history and background, right now you have the #1 streaming movie on Tubi.
On Tubi,
right?
Ballin.
What up?
I want to give a big shout out to my cast. You know, Lance Stevenson, Brenda Paulino, Safari. What up, boy? My youth. Rebecca and Trey Chaney, man. Trey Chaney again. God bless you and your family. You know, he had a tornado hit his house in Atlanta.
Yeah, I seen that online.
Crazy.
Yeah, man.
You know,
through his son.
Through his son, crazy. Through him, he woke up in the house on top of him, and luckily he had his phone next to him. But his son is making great improvements. All prayers.
That's good, man. I'm glad he's still here. Salute to you, man. Prayers up for him.
That's a fact.
Absolutely. How did this whole balling concept come about?
Rich Black, my partner, Rich Black. He's out in Atlanta. We grew up together. You know, right there in Hollis, Queens, and but he
North Side.
Yeah, North Side. That's right.
North Side. Okay.
But he kept telling me about the movie, and I was like, man, I'm busy. I can't get to it. And then finally, I had some minutes, and I read the script, and I said, let's do it. And I brought in another partner. So when you watch the movie, you'll see Arc Films. It's Andy, Rich, and Chris. That's Arc. Mm-hmm. So that's how we came up with that name. But Andy Entrada, he's a partner with us and great partner with us and like minds. You know, when you get like minds, it doesn't matter.
It's an easy transition.
And he was a like mind, and we started this project and we put up the money and got to it.
How does, can you, because I've always been curious how the business of movie making goes.
Man,
This is your first film.
it's a
right?
first film. No, it's not my first film. It's the first film that I was controlling with my team or my partners every decision.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
I've been involved. Look, I was involved with Belly early days with
That's
my
a
brother,
fact. Mhm.
but that's Hype Williams. I can't take credit for
That's
that.
not your baby. Yeah.
Right, it's not my baby, but you know, I definitely was on sets and different things, and then we had other. My brother made a movie before he passed, and it's called America. Oh my goodness, Made in America.
Mhm.
That should be dropping soon once Darcel gets it all situated.
Okay.
Which
I
is
just
fire.
want to say this real quick. So, Tails,
Yes,
right? Rest in peace to your brother,
yes,
Herb Gotti, the legend.
yes. He's
I-
here with us right now.
Yeah, he
That nigga
absolutely
working
is.
with me, so
He absolutely, he's guiding
yeah.
the whole situation. I was in prison when Tails came out,
Okay,
and we was fighting.
making
When
sure
I
that's
tell
on
you
that screen.
what, we had to make sure, because I'm gonna tell you something. Between, I think it came on at like 7, 8 o'clock at
Yeah.
night on BT, and at that time,
Yeah.
a lot of the other coaches will want to watch what they want to watch.
Right.
Whether it's Telemundo, whether it's CNN, whatever the case may be. Nah, we was mobbing.
Nah, that's a fact.
Like, nah, we watching Tails, bro.
You and so many of my brothers that was inside, like, told me those situations. Like,
Yeah.
you know, even Preem, shout out Preem. You know, he's
Yeah,
like,
shout out
nigga,
to
he's
Preem.
like, man, we made sure
Yeah, that was mandatory. Get them
it
views
was
up.
gonna be up right there.
Right.
You know, it's funny because in our career, that's like Tails is one thing, but the other biggest thing was when we won against the government and we won that trial.
Yes, yes.
Everyone said, if you was inside in that moment, you tell me that jail didn't riot. All the jails riot.
Yeah,
It's like
nah.
going crazy because we
Yeah.
won. Just showing love and respect because they didn't, you know, everyone thought we was gone.
Yeah, nah, yeah. We're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely glad that y'all were able to win that.
You ain't the
Um,
only one.
Yeah, we was going crazy behind the ball for that. So Ballin is out.
Yes.
You say you have some great partners on
Not-
deck.
Yes.
What was the business like with Tubi? Like, how do they treat,
Listen.
entrepreneurs and filmmakers?
I'm gonna give Tubi again. They have to do better. But I understand why. See, you got to always have the perspective of why someone's doing something, because there's a reason behind people's madness. They're still the biggest place for black films like ours. We don't have no other outlets that's gonna have the audience that they already have built in. They have over 110, I believe, subscribers. I believe that's the number.
110 million.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's a number.
Mm-hmm.
That means people can watch your shit. If they put it up, they're gonna be interested and they're gonna watch it, whether you promote it or not. They released my movie without even telling me. And I found out from other distributors that that's typical.
For them, once you sign the
Which is-
dotted line.
I always get into the business side of things because really that's where my mind is. That's really where all the bad decisions are made. It's bad
Yeah.
because of the business that's going on and taking place. So they're gonna do something that's more conducive for them, and I don't understand how is that helping them if they don't let me market and promote it.
Mm-hmm.
Because first and foremost, they take 55 cents on every dollar. That's not negotiable. This is some real gangster shit. So basically, they taking 55 cents, and then they tell you, you can't bring me your movie. You need to have it placed on Tubi through an aggregator. Now there's something like Tubi Originals. They could actually buy your film from you, and that's a different deal.
Mm-hmm.
But for most of the filmmakers that are movies you see, they're not Tubi Originals. They're just filmmakers like myself that made a movie, and then we go there and get it put up,
Right.
get it placed on it.
Right.
The reality is 55 cents. And then you go through an aggregator because you can't bring it to them and hand it to them directly. You go through that aggregator, and then typically those deals is 80-20. So you're getting another 20 cents off of that 45 that's left. And that's what you're working with in order to make your money back. And if you spend real money, for instance, let's say I spent a $500,000 for balls, right? That's real money. How am I gonna make it back? I gotta get a lot of eyeballs on that.
Yeah, you got to get millions of
Millions. So when they released it, without me knowing, Safari, one of his fans was the first one that seen it, called him, and then he called me. Like, yo, the movie's out. And me and Rich was like, what? Then we called Tubi, and then they fixed it. They put out, not only did they put it out, they put out the wrong version of it.
Mm. It wasn't the final edit.
It wasn't the final edit.
Mm.
And then they put up, they corrected it in a timely fashion, which again, thank you. Again, and I'm only telling because I'm speaking about it because, again, they're still the best platform with that shitty deal.
Mm.
And that's why they do it. It's business reasons. That's why they do it. They know they could get away with it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? They still was like, well, you don't want it, go around the horn, and then you.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Champion Style, aka Champ, aka Mr. Spinny Yard. Listen, I have a question for y'all. Are y'all tired of uploading to YouTube and getting no views, or posting to social media with zero visibility? Well, Wham Promotions is the go-to team for music artists, podcasters who want real, measurable growth. From YouTube to Instagram and Spotify, they help you get seen, heard, and paid. I'll say that again, they help you get paid. All right? Are y'all ready to level up your platform? Then visit whampromotions.com. That's WAMM promotions.com. And use the code SPINTHEYARD, SPINTHEYARD, for a 10% off of your first order. Tap in with Wham Promotions today. Salute.
Go around the corner to these other platforms, the audience, our culture's not there to watch it. You know, I'm trying to get Dame Dash, you know, my girl Vicky out in Philly with their companies, their platform to get people to put their movies on it, because if they get the eyeballs like Tubi has, we'll have the right deals in place. So that's
Tubi
American New Fox. Fox bought it.
So it's not even owned by a black person?
No.
So that's why the business is the way it is, essentially, because we don't own it.
You know, Tubi got very popular because their movie was going viral. But why was it going viral? Let's say we had a scene right here and I pop somebody. They on the floor and they still talking. And
Yeah,
still
that's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, is the scene over? Yo, let me know if the scene's over. Like, and then they would take that clip and put it out, and it would go viral, and then everyone would start going to Tubi to start filming it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's and watching it. I mean, and that's what really people started watching. And then it was a home for the low budget film.
Mm-hmm.
I know dudes that's making films for 20 racks, 10 racks, and making a film like. Hollywood never thought we could do that. See, one thing about our culture, you can't stop us. No. That's why when you think of incarceration and jail, right? Think of how the ingenuity that comes from jail. You know, from something, the guys that have nothing, everything stripped from them, taken away, and they figure all these different things, how to make wine and cook and all types of shit.
How to make a light with a battery and
even
a
making
wire
knives.
and all that. Yeah.
They figure this out while they're inside. Like, that shit is what we do on the outside. They're just more dedicated to it because they're stuck there. You know what I'm saying? So they got more hours to really think about how to fix shit. But so what we do is how do we figure out how to make cameras and make movies with these cameras and phones, cell phones, everything, and then putting it up on the platform to make money. And Hollywood never thought that would be possible. See, they allow rap. They threw us rap. Go ahead, y'all niggas could have that shit. That's how they look at it. But when they first started rap, they wasn't fucking with rap.
Nah, not at all.
They was really saying, here, take a few dollars and shut the fuck up. Then when they seen rap cross over and get their audience and they people, they own it and control it. This is one of my beefs with Russell. I said, how you give up rap? How you sell rap, nigga? Think about it. He had it. How you gonna control it and own it?
First label,
what was you thinking? Just getting the check? Like, Russell was my man, but like, come on, that's Hollis Queens, nigga. Like, But how'd you give that up? Is my question. Like, you didn't have the foresight. As much incredible things as Russell did, he didn't think to own it. Nah,
let me ask you a question, right? I definitely respect what you're saying. Why is it such an issue for creators, filmmakers, musicians, everything dealing with our culture, to put up a website, to use social media, which is at our disposal for free, to put our stuff on these things, right? Instead of saying like, oh, I need to go to a Tubi, or I need to go to YouTube, or I need to go to this machine that's already moving, why can't I just get with my team, get with the people I know, motherfuckers from my neighborhood, whatever the case may be, yo, we're gonna build this website, we're gonna create this art in the culture, and we're gonna post it on this website, and then all of our social media accounts are going to focus on this thing right here, and then everybody will have to come to this website in order to view our content. Why is that not happening?
Well, there's a lot of reasons. in my opinion. This is just, first, one of the main things is we was taught wrong. We always thought we had to be the one. Think about anything we do, we always had to be the one in the hood growing up. Oh, it's him. He's the one. Nah, it could be him and him. You know what I'm saying? Pepsi and Coke have no problems, bro. You know what I'm saying? They have no problems, but we was taught differently. Like, Ford and Toyota is cool. They good. They eating. Everybody can eat, B.
Yeah.
But they make it like it can't be. Make it like you have to be the one, and then we was always pit against each other for that money. So whenever you think of music, because that's really one of the things, sports, it was always like, oh, he's him and that's it. Nah, nigga. He could be him. Kobe's there. LeBron is there. Mike was there. They could be more than one. But they made it like you got to be one, and it's like, in anything, someone's gonna separate themselves. It's just natural. Your talent might be better. It's gonna show up. Something over time. You're gonna just see something that says, "Man, he's better than this one." But that's cool. Everyone could coexist with no issues, and that's how I look at business. Hey, you got a podcast. So how many other podcasts? Why do I gotta choose one? Why did I have to choose one rapper? Right, and that's the problem. Why can't I like a 50 Cent and a Ja Rule? You understand what I'm saying?
And a lot of people do. They just
you got to choose one. No, you could like. As a human beings, we got multiple things we like. Why I have to be forced to one? And that to me is the real issue. It's like when you ask, "What's the problem? Why can't we do that?" Because greed and coming from the have-nots, we have-nots. Like they dangle that check, and let's say 70% is running to it, and then maybe 80, maybe 90. But there's only 10 that's not, and then that creates that separation and that issue of back and forth, which one, which not to go to. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so I agree with that, right? But then I look at examples of certain artists like La Russell, Chance the Rapper, and there's a few others who have created their own landscape in the industry, minus the institutions.
Yeah.
Right? And they built their own fan page. La Russell built it from his backyard.
But they figured out like how to tap into their audience. That's all it is. If you talking music, you make a record. We can make a record in here right now and it's fire. How do I get the world to say that's fire? They found their audience in that box, in that, in that phone. You know what I'm saying? You got to find your audience. You got to know how to, okay, they not fucking with it over here, but they fucking with it over here. And that's all they did, and it was over time. It wasn't right away. Them niggas was grinding.
Right.
That's the other mistake everyone think. They see them popping right now and they think, oh, I could do that too. No, you can't.
It's going to take a few years.
They built it. When they talk one-hit wonders, let's say, the reason one-hit wonders is because they have no knowledge of what they did that made that one hit.
All the shit.
So they don't know they don't know the foundation of how to keep to do it again and do it again. Like when you think of any dope artist that had multiple hits, they have almost a blueprint to their system. They know what to do, they know how to do it, and then they deliver the record and put it in that. When you're one-hit wonder and you didn't build it up, that's the gift and the curse of having that one record that pops off. Yeah, you popped off, but you might be gone because you don't know what you did to get there. You don't know what took place that made it go there. And that to me is, again, that's we want everything like yesterday.
That's a fact. Instant gratification. That's a fact.
Niggas want it like yesterday.
To go off what you said, I also think too, people don't know how to read numbers.
Oh man,
and the reason why I say people don't know how to read numbers is because you can put out a movie, say it's COVID,
yes,
and that movie go 3 million streams, your movie go 25 million streams.
Yeah,
you will sit at home, you'll sit in your office or wherever you at and be like,
look at that.
That's not going. I need to see if that's going to stay. Because a lot of people watching it because they ain't got nothing else to do.
Nothing else to
so when it's time to have something else to do, and that 25 dropped back down to 3, you was prepared for
or less.
Yeah, another person's not like so. When he was like the one-hit wonders, they not prepared for. I just went platinum. Yeah, but all the million, your second one ain't going platinum. Right? But out of the million, 100,000 people will stay. But you don't promote to the 100,000 people.
That's exactly right. You got to understand that circumstances that's going on. Something might have happened that made things work.
Exactly.
And as let's say a manager or whoever's handling that artist, I don't expect the artist to know that. I expect whoever's that handler to know that.
Yeah.
They supposed to be studying that part. You know, I have an expression of number. They always say numbers don't lie, but they don't always tell the truth. You heard?
That's a fact.
That's a big fact.
Because when you brought up Chance the Rapper, when he blew up, I bumped the album that won the Grammy.
Right.
I haven't bumped Chance since then.
Say that.
So I'm one of the people that left. Chance ain't look at his numbers and be like, hey, where them people go? He just was like, yo, what happened to my career? Ain't nothing happened to your career. You popped up, the song was popular, I liked it, and I left.
And it could be, it could be, other artists came in and took your market share, right? You got to understand the landscape. There's so many moving parts, especially now, because so many people can put music out. I mean, someone easily could have stepped in your lane and kind of did it better than you doing it, and now your audience is there, not with you, and you got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a fact. So, speaking of artistry and music and stuff like that, you know, Ja Rule is, in my eyes, is still a big deal, right? Was and still is, right? How were you guys at MURDA Inc. at that time able to keep it so consistent? Because I think that's one of the keys in keeping your fan base is consistency.
Irv Gotti. How you gonna say that? Like, that nigga's a genius, bro.
Yeah.
Like, Irv is a mastermind at this shit, and he was not one of the, again, arguably one of the best producers. He's in the Guinness Book for the longest run at #1 still, as a producer for multiple artists. Not.
Hold on, we gotta clap for that, man. Come on, man. Like, come on, man. Like, that's.
But at the end of the day, you ask how, and it's like he was really. I can't take any credit for like Irv's genius as far as the music industry, the knowledge of music. Period. The marketing strategies. These are Irv's. I ran the business. I might have helped him with the producers. Like I found most of the producers and the artists and things like that. But once I handed it to him, I knew what was gonna happen. You know, and Irv wouldn't just put his name next to anybody. That's another thing. He's very particular in what he would fuck with. You know.
Yeah, man. That whole MURDA Inc. run that's still running is like phenomenal. And recently you guys did a tribute to your brother. Yeah. At Summer Jam. How was that?
You know, it was great seeing everybody that showed up, the old, you know what I mean, the old artists that we haven't seen on a regular. Again, it was a good tribute to my brother. It wasn't, let's say, Hot 97. They didn't handle it the best way.
Yeah, I heard some rumblings in it.
That's the reality. I don't sugarcoat shit.
Right.
You know, Hot 97, they called to do the tribute. You would figure they would do the right thing by the family and everything for MURDA Inc. to do a tribute properly. If you wanted, don't use my brother's name to do a tribute, and then don't handle the business side of it properly. Meaning, like they didn't want to give us passes. Then they cut Ja's time, and then they, you know, Ja had quit and said he wasn't doing it. He said he backed out. Like 3 days before the date. He said, if y'all not giving me passes and tickets for all the people we got, like we got hundreds and hundreds of people. People wanted to fly in for my brothers, and they're not accommodating. Not saying they had to do that many, but the number they gave was terrible. You know what I'm saying? They was counting every artist as a pass, and it's like, what about their people? Like, we can't have all these guests and then they don't have no one to come with them. They expect the artist to walk in there by themselves. That's trash. And it's like, you doing that, and then they said, after you finish,
you got to get it back.
Give up that band.
Yeah.
Damn. You can't stay.
And I heard why. That was.
No, at the end of the day, I didn't know. It's all speculation, but it was weird. They said there was a lot of people overbooking, and I ain't never been part of that in my history of music, where they was like, give me back the band. As soon as your artist finished performing, give me your band back, and you gotta leave. Like, what kind of shit is that?
Ghetto shit.
Nah, that's trash. And you know, I spoke to Ebro, you know, shout out Ebro, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get at him, because I spoke to him about it. That's bad business. That's bad business.
I feel like Summer Jam over the years has dwindled, and it hasn't been as rambunctious and phenomenal as it used to be.
The game is not the same.
It's not. It's oversaturated.
Look, I love these young artists. The reason the game is not the same is because the labels are not focused on promoting and marketing like they used to. So don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about none of these young artists. I fuck with all these little young niggas with this shit, right? But at the end of the day, in order to make that star and have that star power, you need that machine of that label and all of the things they bring that really used to make them valuable. That's what made the label valuable, because you knew if you got a deal, you're gonna get that. That push in that way, especially if you have a hit record and they're not behind it. They just take the stream, like the business changed. The business changed. And that's why, in my opinion, you don't see, and there's huge artists, but they don't have the same impact as some of the artists that was probably smaller than they are because of that fact. It's weird.
I agree with that. Back when you and your brother was fighting the Fed case, I know that you guys were on top of the world, right? Like, you couldn't go nowhere without hearing MURDA Inc. music, all artists, featured artists, whatever the case may be. And then this happens. So, did that situation not only fuck up a lot of bags, but did it also show you who's really with y'all and who's against y'all?
Yeah, that's an understatement. Like, everybody, once you're under a federal investigation, anything corporate America is not fucking with you. All the deals we had, partnerships, all disappeared like that. So then when you say who's fucking with you, you find that out clearly too, because you start calling and they not responding, they not picking up the phone. You know, I'm sure, you know, and I'm gonna knock on wood for homie, but you know, with Diddy, in his case, I'm sure he's feeling that right now.
Absolutely. I went to his trial.
You get alienated. You get alienated.
Ain't nobody there supporting but his family.
Just his family.
Yeah.
Well, you know, again, that's, you know, we had a good turnout from the first day for the opening statements, but from an ongoing position, we still had some true family members that are in the industry in that courtroom, aside from my family. You know what I'm saying? My courtroom stayed full. I don't know, was his courtroom full? See, it's a different case.
Yeah, it's definitely a different case.
Because of the type of case he's under. Like what are they trying to RICO and all of these things?
Yeah, they charging RICO,
racketeering, sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Or something that was RICO and things. We're rap niggas. Like, we fuck with killers. Let's keep it a buck from the hood. It is what it is. We grew up with them. You can't change that. That's just where you grew up. Right. So how could you change that? You knew the nigga that was out putting in work, or you know what I'm saying, whatever it might be. But so our community wouldn't look at him if it was just those RICO and racketeering. It's when it gets into the sex trafficking and things of that nature, even the beating, that made niggas fall back more so for him.
Yeah.
Like I said, I still have my true blues pulling up to the court.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They tell me we was up for what? Money laundering. They had us with mad charges, but it went down to just maybe like money laundering. Niggas is like, cool. Hope you got that bag, boy. Yeah. You understand? It's a difference in the charge. And his charge, man, is more powerful because of those things. Like, people will definitely turn. There'll be focus groups that's gonna be at him, like, because of just dealing with a woman. Like, he's dealing with all of those things, and that's, you know, on top of that 1,000-pound gorilla on his back. Man, I don't wish that on nobody.
Me neither. I mean, I went to the trial for like 2 days, or like 2 weeks ago, and it's heart-wrenching for me because I'm such a fan of this man, and I met him on a plethora of occasions. It was all love. Everything was good. He was a great person, the person I met. Yeah. Right. So to sit in the courtroom and see certain individuals taking a stand, me looking around, it's nothing but bloggers. It's nothing but bloggers sitting in the courtroom. Terrible. You know what I'm saying? And then the first 2 rows is his family, and then I was in the 3rd row. I'm gonna say, you know, I don't know what would have happened if it was social media during my trial the way it is today. Oh, you'd have been judged by the court of opinion. Oh my God, that's a fact. That shit is crazy. Thank God for just the Daily News and the New York Post at that time, because it actually made everybody watching y'all side with y'all. Yeah. because of the charges, and we like, you know, everybody that's from the street is looking at it like, come on, we see niggas go through this shit every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now y'all,
I stopped following the trial because I didn't hear nothing from what I listened to. So I just, you know what I'm saying, I say my prayers for everybody, and God willing, everything worked out with it.
Right.
I didn't hear racketeering, Rico. I thought maybe they had something that we didn't know. I didn't know sex was a crime.
Being a freak.
Being
That's
nasty.
all I heard. Was he a freaky ass nigga?
Yeah, man. That's it.
And I heard again, she was, from her own testimonies, like, it was cool, she was with it.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Now you pay the dude to come hit. I don't understand that either, in the sense of that's
How was
what
that sexual?
that's what we're in a federal building for. Nah.
For paying an escort.
Would you put a gun to homie's head? Was he mad he was smashing? That's the like,
nigga on
I didn't really want to do it. Is that like
You gonna do this shit, nigga? I paid you.
the nigga gave me the money and I had to.
Right.
It wasn't like it was some big fat ugly.
Bubba. The booty bandit nigga.
You know what I'm saying?
Behind the wall.
That's all I'm saying. It's like, you know, so when we as grown-ups, as adults, that's to me is consensual. It's all, yes, the illegal part is the money, but man, if they charging him with that, the whole courtroom probably need to get locked up. The judge included. Fuck out of here.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Let's look at his life and see if he ain't paying. He better have compassion for homie. If that's all it is. Now, if that's all you hear, it's like, damn, bro. Man,
let me tell you something. Even with the racket, the money racketeering shit, I was there when his old CFO of Bad Boy Entertainment and COO of Revolt.
Okay.
His name was something Ferguson. Derek Ferguson. That's his name. Yeah.
Okay.
Derek. So Derek got up there, and he literally said nothing bad about Puff. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Champion Style, aka Champ, aka Mr. Spin the Yard. Listen, I have a question for y'all. Are y'all tired of uploading to YouTube and getting no views, or posting to social media with zero visibility? Well, Wham Promotions is the go-to team for music artists, podcasters who want real, measurable growth. From YouTube to Instagram and Spotify, they help you get seen, heard, and paid. I'll say that again. They help you get paid. All right. Are y'all ready to level up your platform? Then visit whampromotions.com. That's WAMM promotions.com, and use the code SPINTHEYARD, SPINTHEYARD, for a 10% off of your first order. Tap in with Wham Promotions today. Salute. And he's explaining everything, and then they seen that the prosecution seen that wasn't working.
Yeah.
So they shifted, and they was like, yo, how is Diddy as a person? So I said, oh, I see what these motherfuckers doing. They're trying to get the jury to get on the emotional aspect of him. And what he said was like, yo, I never had a problem with it.
You know,
he paid me on time. I went to where I had to go. Yes, the job was strenuous, but I did what I had to do, and everything was in line.
You know, in my opinion, you know, running an empire like he's running is not a simple task.
Right.
To build it, first and foremost, is even harder, and then to run it, to maintain it is just as hard. And you can't be a nice guy.
Nah.
That's why most CEOs is not liked. Look at Steve Jobs. Everyone hated that motherfucker. He built Apple. Don't get it fucked up. You understand? Let's just switch it to someone else, and then you understand.
Right.
His own kids didn't like him. The nigga that built the tech nigga, Steve Wozniak, hated him. Okay. You have to make hard decisions as that boss running shit, and you're not gonna make a lot of friends sometimes. You know?
That's a fact.
I think, you know, part of Irv, right, if I tied in, they used to call Irv was more easier, and they used to call me Joe Hard, because I was not giving niggas a break. You know what I'm saying? Man, you hard, yo, you Joe Hard, yo. I'm like, what you want me to give? I helped as much as I could, because no one gave us nothing. We built it. So why I felt crazy giving people anything. I would have dudes work for free for, man, like a month before they got a job. because I had to make sure that, because they don't have no resume. They don't got no,
you put
I came from IBM and fuck out of here. Nigga, you just came home. That's what happened. You just came home, nigga. And then I would tell you if you're serious, and don't tell me you do anything.
Right.
Because then I'll give you a mop and have you clean, and you don't want to do that. You want something of some substance. So I got to teach you. I got to give you, you know. Yeah. But I made sure you wanted it by working for free first, like showing up. And I didn't tell you to do it. I just said, if you want to be, you got to be around here. And when the consistency of coming, let me know. Okay, now I can give you
some money. Yeah, he's consistent about it. He's serious.
He's serious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
And that's how I did it. And you know, the feds came to me and said, why am I hiring so many incarcerated people? Like, what are you doing?
Like, that's a crime.
And I said to them, I said, you should be giving me an award. It's honoring me. I'm saving lives, nigga. I'm keeping you safe on the streets with these fucking savages I got here. You know what I'm saying? On some real shit.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And I said, you should be, he said, no, you're building a gang. I said, nah, I'm just trying to help my people. I said, if I don't do it, who will? They used to come to my house every day. You know, I know we spoke about it before. Every day to try and get me to talk or say something. My lawyer would say, don't speak to them. I said, I want to hear what they talking about.
I want to hear.
I said, don't worry, Shaggy. I know what I'm doing. I ain't going to say nothing.
Right.
I just want to hear what's in their mind. You know what I mean?
I got you. So after you guys beat the feds, what was it like trying to come back into the industry?
I'll give you, we signed, again, I said we had to sign to get our money that was owed to us from Universal. This is when we found that they was cooperating with the government. We didn't know, you didn't know.
Universal was cooperating
with the government. During our trial, they stopped paying us. We spent over $14 million for the trial, first and foremost. We're running out of bread. We need more money, but it's money that's due us. Our lawyers is calling everyone over Universal, they not paying us. So they made us sign. They didn't make us. They said, if you want this money that we owe you, if you go to jail, we're taking everything that's Murder Inc. 100% is ours.
Damn.
That's crazy.
And nigga, we signed that shit. In the courtroom to get our check that was due us.
In order to pay your legal fees.
Just to pay the bills, to keep everyone, you know, without selling no houses or nothing like that, and shit like that. We did it. But when we win, we own everything 100%.
That's big.
It was a high risk, high reward.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big
high risk and a high reward.
I know, but there's some real foul play, man. These niggas is vicious, yo. I'm giving you the clean version. Universal is vicious. And there's still a potential case behind it. But we're talking about big money, 9 figures. You understand? For Murder Inc. And when we first did our deal, it was a 50-50 joint venture. So they're technically our partner. Right. So when they stop paying us for money that's due us, we're like, that's our partner, and they're not paying us. It's fucking nuts. That means they got 100% of the money and didn't give us our piece. And we sitting there waiting, and then we had to sign away the potential chance if we go to jail in a system that's 98, almost 99% conviction, that if we get convicted, they own everything 100%. But when we win, they don't. So you ask, how do we get back? Now they got to sit back at the table, but we found out they cooperate. So it's not a good conversation. They don't want to do the deals we're looking for. They got to buy back the 50% if they want that.
Y'all 50%.
If they want it. Or we originally, Ron Sweeney negotiated, our lawyer, one of the best lawyers in the game, Brian Robinson, one of the best lawyers in the music business, period, negotiated where we retain 100% ownership, and they're going to pay for all the marketing and promotion. And for some reason, some way, again, and I never told the story, but they got Irv, one of the guys in Universal, I forget his name right now, or I'm omitting his name right now, I know who it is. You understand? Got him to get rid of Ron Sweeney and Brian Robinson as our attorneys, and go get a guy named Donald Passman. Donald Passman wrote a book.
Donald Passman, yeah, he wrote the book.
He wrote the book.
How to succeed in the music business.
He's like, you want the best deal, you go get Donald. This is what Irv. So Irv was like, okay, Ron Sweeney and Brian the Black. Donald, of course, is white Jew boy. Yeah. And sure enough, he gets Donald Passman, and Donald Passman is in cahoots with Universal.
Oh man,
damn,
that's crazy. I
So we
live by that book like a fucking like a Bible, bro.
Look, I'm glad you know the book because I had to fire the nigga that wrote the book. To fire his bitch ass.
Donald?
Yeah, because he's in cahoots with Universal, which is what most lawyers are, right? That's the part of if you're a rapper, you don't understand, or producer, that's why that lawyer is so important. Because if they're not gonna fight for you, you're gonna get the deal they get because they taking this nigga here with them, and this based on your power.
Yeah.
It's just business. You would do the same probably if you was in the same position.
Right.
But Donald Passman gets the deal, and what does he do? Does a 50-50 deal. We was getting, let's say, a $7 million advance, but we own everything 100%. He gets a 50-50 deal, gets us almost 20.
20 million.
Yes, but
Okay.
we're 50-50. So when you start doing it, it don't add up.
Oh, all right. So
The value of 50% of the masters, we sold them 300, so that's 150 million, and we only
Okay.
get an additional. You understand?
Yeah.
Say
So
10, we get an additional 10 million.
right.
It's business. The rape and pillage real, and Irv was excited at the time because it was more money. But the 50-50, that we're back, we reverted back to a 50-50 deal.
Right.
And then the next part of that is they didn't do nothing to promote us no more. We had the #1 record with Lloyd. Shout out Lottie. What up, boy? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The U with him and Lil Wayne, fresh off the trial.
And then Ja Rule did that record with Lil Wayne.
But I'm just saying, right off the trial, we got the #1 record in the country, and then we don't get the #1 album. They don't support us. They gave Music Soul Child, ends up beating us out, who has like a 10th of our audience. Shout out Music Soul Child. I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying he wasn't nowhere as big as we are. And then that's when Irv called a meeting. I'll never forget that meeting. He called the staff to the conference room, and he's like, yo, it's over. And they were like, what are you talking about? He said, they not fucking with me no more. I'm not gonna keep putting out music. It's over. He said, whatever y'all do, keep work, do whatever you want. I'm gonna keep paying everyone. We had another like a year and a half left on the contract. He said, I'll pay everyone, find another job. And we paid everyone out their salaries for the next year and a half, and then that was basically the end of Irv Gotti making Murder Inc. move.
And that's when he decided after that to get into like film and
Not right away. Not right away, man. It took time, man. That's why I said the process coming back from that trial, we never hit back until, man, 05 we win. It had to be like 9 joints before they even started talking to us right. I'm bad with years. If someone could fucking look up when did Two Tails start.
Okay.
If you see when Tails started, whatever year Tails started, that's the first deal we got back since losing or quitting on music.
Yeah, you don't feel like you and your brother was blackballed?
Absolutely.
With all that?
1000%. Here, I got a story for that. We're in the middle of that time frame. We get a girl, she's a big
2017.
Wow. My years is even worse. That's 12 years.
Yeah.
That's how long it was before they even started talking to us. So here he asked about being blackballed.
Yeah.
We had oh my God, what's her name? I'm fucking so bad with names. She was big. She had like 20 million in followers. She was on like Disney and everything. What's her name?
What is she? A singer?
She's an artist. She's a singer. Oh my God, she's Cuban and something else, but she looked like a white girl, you know. But Irv made her album with her. It's gonna come to me. It's like right there.
Yeah,
I can't
I'm gonna
see
find
it.
it.
And we go to Jimmy Iovine.
Oh man, in the scope.
Yeah, so at this time he's Apple. He's already made his bread. He's doing all this shit with Apple, but he still started a label with a guy named Doug Morris, who used to be the boss of Universal.
Cuban Link?
Not Cuban Link.
No, okay.
It's a female.
It's a woman.
It's a female. Oh man, it's gonna kill me. And it's gonna. But anyway, and Steve Bartles, these two executives. Yeah, Steve and Doug, you two fuckers right there, man. What's crazy is I don't care because I don't do business with niggas no more. I don't care.
Right.
But when I used to go into meetings, I'm not an educated dude. But I learned from the hard loser, you know what I'm saying? The hard way. You try something, you win, you lose, and you remember how it worked. But when I went to meetings and I wanted to hear everything, I would make sure I had a record of everything someone was saying.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So when I'm in with Jimmy, me and Irv and Jimmy, I'm letting Irv do his selling and tell him. And he's like, yo, she got all of this. He's like, he plays the music. Jimmy loves the music.
Mm-hmm.
Irv and Jimmy were like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jimmy was trying to steal Irv at one time, and Leo went to Doug Morris, who was the boss of all of them at the time. And Doug said, you can't leave Leo to go to Jimmy, which is bullshit. Again, they blocked her. But at the end of the day, Jimmy loved the music. He loved the artists. He seen the numbers. He was like, oh my God, this is a no-brainer. So he calls Doug. He's like, I just gave them $200 million to start this label up. Doug Morris and Steve Bartles. Calls him up, and then I got all this on record. And Jimmy's like, did you get the music? Because we went to them first.
Yeah.
And they denied it. They said, nah, we're going to pass. So we went to Jimmy. Jimmy's like, we love this shit. So he said, did you get the music from Irv and Chris? They came and, yeah. And, yo, they say, you really want us to do business with those guys again? Yeah, I heard that shit, man. Jimmy, because it was on speaker. The phone was on speaker. He picks the phone up. He said, this is a no-brainer. What? Yes, I want you to do business with these guys. Listen to the music and call me back. Hangs up. They call back, and he's like, the music's good. Now, mind you, they told us they heard it already and just gonna pass. They didn't like it. They didn't even listen to it till after that. And then they was like, Jimmy says, give the girl $1.5 million. Give these guys this much money for marketing. He laid the whole deal out for them on the call. We laughing, joking like we got the deal, you know. And when they call, it's before we even get out the door of Jimmy's office, they call Irv. Hey, Irv, man, we listened to this stuff, and Irv got it on speaker. And he's like, we changed our mind, we want to do the deal, not knowing we was in the office. They didn't know we were there with Jimmy when he did everything. And me and Irv look at each other, but then right after the call, and then he was like, yeah, we're going to put this deal together, we want to do it. And Irv looked at me, and I looked at him, I said, don't ever fucking tell me they fuck with us no more. That lets you know, these are the two biggest, arguably, executives in music, letting you know that there was discussions about doing business with Irv and Chris Gotti in music. So when you say, was we blackballed, there's no doubt in my mind, and that's the proof. Aside from all the things that happened, that's the proof. That they had no more dealing with us. No more.
Nah, because I hear everything you say, like, that you got to go through with your films and everything. And I say, like, I told somebody, like, yo, it was at one point in time, y'all was the hottest
Facts.
on the planet. Facts. And I'm like, it ain't just because they got into a rap beef. Like, they just blackballs. Like they just flat out blackball. You know, because they pick and choose who out the group they keep relevant. You know, and then they push everybody else around.
It's crazy because I don't really do these podcasts like that much. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing some now because of the movie, right? Or to promote the movie.
Well, you fuck with me too, bro.
Of course. Aside from
this is my friend.
Aside from that,
this is my.
He called me.
My OG, triple OG. Right?
I'm coming.
I'm not like you niggas.
So at the end of the day, with all of that, it's like they didn't want to let us do anything no more. So look, 17, we went on trial in 2017, and that's in TV. And why we get that? It's really Jay-Z and Stephen Hill, who used to be the CEO of BET. Irv had the idea with Tales, we pitched, and he was trying to pitch just a pilot. One show. Give me the budget, let's go make the show so you could see what it looked like. And it's him and Jay-Z and Stephen Hill, and he's.
Why Jay-Z was in that meeting?
It's just, it wasn't like they was just together.
Oh, okay.
And it all came up. And then Irv tells Steve said to Jay, what do you think? And Jay's exact words, if I was you, I'd just give Irv whatever he wanted and get out the fucking way.
I heard Irv say that. I heard Irv actually say that, yeah.
That's a fact.
Irv said Jay said that, yeah.
That's a fact. That's Jay's words exactly to Stephen Hill. And Stephen Hill basically said, okay, you not a pilot. I'm giving you 10 episodes. Go. And here's your budget. It was like 1.2 the first year per episode. Yeah, you know, and the rest of history was the number one slot. Again, but Irv is an uncontrollable force.
Yeah.
The reason Tails doesn't exist anymore, the guy that's in charge, he told who's a black man, said, nigga, you ain't black. You don't know this fucking culture.
Irv said that to him?
I don't want to say his name.
No.
He said it to the head guy at BET, who's a black man. He said, you're not fucking black and you don't know this culture and you don't understand what I'm doing. Irv was dealing with Bob Backus, who's the CEO of Viacom, who owns BET. And he told Irv, he said, Irv, I hired him. I can't fire him. I don't, it's bad business. And then that's the end of Tales.
Wow, for one individual.
We was at 25 million, 10 episodes at 2.5. We was getting 2.5 an ep. It was $25 million for the season. And, Irv, he did that. But again, his business, like Irv was like getting mad because Irv wanted to do so many things, but he's a visionary. You got to build him. See, in music, he did the same thing in music with, let's say, DMX. That's really who.
Even Hov.
Nah, but DMX is the reason. Yes, with Hov, but with DMX, because no one understood DMX. He was very dark when he came out. Everyone loves him now, but when we played his shit, niggas was like, what the fuck is that? Niggas wasn't rapping like that.
Right.
That's a fact. So when we played it for the whole Def Jam team, Irv went to the blackboard, put DMX, the triangle, which is platinum, and the number 5 next to it. This is before he got a deal. This is
5 times platinum.
Yeah, he's saying he's going 5 times platinum. And Irv put that shit on the board. In hindsight, I wish I had a picture of it so niggas could see it was so real. Anyone in that meeting knows it's real, but all the execs laughed at Irv. Dame Dash too, but Dame was laughing because Jay and X had their little beef.
Yeah.
Irv, who's gonna buy his record? A Chihuahua? This is the shit they was all laughing, clowning Irv with DM. Yeah, how crazy is that? But that's when I say he's a visionary. He's a visionary. Niggas was laughing. Don't get it fucked up. Jay-Z was the Hawaiian Sophie nigga.
Yeah, that's true.
Get it fucked up.
Yeah, he had to transition. He had to.
Jay used to
X
wait.
Didn't.
Jay used to wait in my office to talk to Irv. Think about that. Hov, the icon, the legend that he is. Every big word you could think of, that's who he is. Before, what gave him that insight and game is my brother. And I'll never forget a conversation he told Jay. It was about the clothing line before Rockaware. Irv was like, nigga, we could have Jay-Z candy bars. And Babe Ruth could have one. You could have one. We could have Jay-Z potato chips. This is before rap chips is all of this shit. This is early days hip hop.
Right.
He's like, we could do anything. And Jay was just looking at the nigga like, nigga, you crazy. You know what I'm saying?
That's
just
wicked,
looking
man.
at him. And then Jay, I believe, had a meeting with David Stern about the throwback jerseys. So, Hard Knock Life Tour, every city, he wore the throwback.
Yep. That was 98, 99.
What we don't know is the sales of those throwbacks went through the roof. David Stern is looking at how much money he was making, and then all of a sudden, what's Jay's next album? Put your button up on, be a grown man.
Black Album.
You understand? No more throwbacks. Sales dropped over 4,000%. David Stern was like, why? He doesn't know it's Jay. He doesn't know it's Hov, nigga.
Right.
And then he fucking calls and gets Jay. Jay has the meeting, and Jay was like, yo, I'm going to meet up, whatever, with Stern. We like, what for? It's like, he didn't know. Finds out it's about the throwbacks. He said, would you mind putting them back on? Jay's like, fuck out of here, and leaves.
Right.
And he tells my brother after the meeting about that, and he says, "You're right. We could do anything."
Years later, he finally fucking gets it, right?
You understand? We
That's
could do
crazy.
anything. But but it's the numbers.
Wow.
We had the proof. See, it's the proof. He got those numbers.
Right.
We could do anything. That's the mindset.
How come y'all never really got into merch?
We did. We had a clothing line. The Fed stopped. We had a clothing line. We was doing over $8 million, all independent. We had our own manufacturer. Again, they don't want you owning and doing shit. In Taiwan, we had apartments out there, everything. And we was doing, it was Urban Jeffrey, the E&G. I don't know if you remember those shirts.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And we was doing denim, jeans. We was cutting, sewing, buying the denim, cutting, doing it all ourselves with our own manufacturing. And we had a nigga that was stealing, but that's a whole nother story. The clothing business is vicious. And there's so many ways to steal. He stole every way you could probably imagine. And but we was doing great. But then when those bills start hitting, we're selling out in all our shops that we're in, and we're starting to get the big offers. You know what I'm saying? Coming in, and in the case, timing is everything, bro. If I could have got that off in a couple years before, I'd have sold that for $500 million. But
what's one of the most besides you and Irv being brothers in music and business, what's like one of the most memorable stories you have of Irv? I know you got a lot,
man,
but what sticks out?
Me personally, him as a producer. People always say, "Oh, I made that beat." Yeah, you could have made the beat, but you didn't produce the record. There's a difference between a beat maker and a producer. My brother was a producer, and he made beats.
Yeah.
But when you get so big and so busy, you don't have time to sit there and just pound it out. So you started bringing in people that was talented to them. And then you say, okay, and then you take that and go produce the record with the artist. And producing, in my opinion, it takes two. It takes that producer and it takes that artist to accept the criticism or the things to change a record to make it better. And then they have to listen and deliver. Right? And that's what Irv did. And again, I believe in Irv once I heard Can I Live. One of the...
I heard that, I was like, yo, nah, this shit is out of here.
Yeah. Irv, he knew how to catch vibes, man. But, produce him as a producer, him... Again, I'm going to use Ashanti. Again, I shout out Bon. But the reality is, she was a different type of artist before she got to Irv.
What do you mean by that?
She didn't make records the way you hear the records she made with her. Totally different types of records. She had a whole catalog of records. She had different deals and she had a catalog of records. When Irv heard her records, finally paid attention to her, he was like, I'm not doing none of that. He didn't want that type of music or sound. So, what he did was produce. And, truth be told, I know she'll hate it and be mad, but these are the stories that to me is so iconic and memorable. Pretty much every hit, she didn't like it because she liked her style of rap. I sound crazy, I sound stupid. She wants to sing, and Irv was like, no. If niggas don't like your music, you can't win. He's on Mary. Think about Mary J. Blige. Was you singing Mary J. Blige?
No.
Was you singing Mary J. Blige? Come on now, don't do that.
Because of my mother.
I was just joking.
Huh?
Yeah.
When you hear Mary's records, was you...
Absolutely.
That's
Every word,
it.
every tone of that
Mary J. Blige is our culture. That's the R&B queen of fucking our culture. The reason we named Ashanti the princess is because she can't be the queen.
Can't be married.
She cannot be married, so we made her the princess. That's what we did, but that's because it's hip hop. Irv made that R&B singer, female singer, hip hop. Go and listen, and you understand. Irv used to make blend tapes. I wish I had all them tapes, man, because all he did was take hip hop beats and throw on top R&B singers acapellas. And the shits was banging. Everybody bumping them shits. Everybody. The line to get Irv's mixtapes when he was just DJ Irv was around the block.
And then you got him started with DJ.
Facts.
Yeah, I heard that story.
Irv is, again, my little brother, so whatever I did, Irv did. You know what I'm saying? If I DJ, Herb DJ. If I play ball, Herb play ball. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, that's natural. Me and Herb, we never fought until the trial. That's crazy. Our first argument, like at each other, not over a topic, was in the trial.
Why is that?
Because, come on, man, why you gonna put me in this?
I'm just saying, you brought it up, so I'm gonna ask you.
You're right. I'm just saying, but it was because we didn't agree on. The lawyers asked about everything. You know, you got to tell your lawyer everything going on, and it was about money.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like telling him, and Irv's acting like he don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I never made one move with the money without Irv knowing. Mm-hmm. Anything outside of typical shit. So if there's money that went to, let's say, Preem, for the movie, I didn't just sign a check to Preem and give him that. Yo, Irv, you doing that? Yo, you cool? Like making sure, like you, yeah. Yeah, my name is on it. But this nigga, I didn't do one thing without him. Only checks Irv signed, I signed every check except for my own. I would make him sign my check. So he knew, here, you send me that. But that's business. This is the reason family, I feel if you family, you gotta move this way because that reassures them, you know what I'm saying? That no funny business is going on. So that's what I did. I made sure. But that's the only time we argued. I said, nigga, you better remember, these are your moves, not mine, nigga. It's your bread, your moves. Yes, I signed the check. I know why you did it, but it's you. And then he's like, I don't know. Ask Chris. I'm like, what? This ain't my trial, bro. No one says that. No one brings that up. That trial wasn't about me. It's about her, but it was about me because I did everything. If you go through the transcript, it's all about me. Her shit was nothing because I did all the business, I did all the interacting, everything. But it's not my trial. It's your decisions. You understand? These ain't my decisions and moves that created this whole shit.
Yeah, they basically just.
And I'm not running from it. I stood right next to him. No problem, nigga. Let's go.
Right, yeah, he was there.
But the facts are the facts. Like, that wasn't my trial. I take care. I'll claim my work. You know what I'm saying? If it's mine, I know what I did or didn't do. That wasn't my work. That trial was not mine. But no one says nothing. I just did that for my brother.
Loyalty.
Yeah, that's my brother.
Absolutely.
All right, so what was your favorite part of the success?
It wasn't the success. I love the challenges that it brought of grinding, the building. I'm a builder by nature. Like, I like building shit. So the brick by brick, watching that process and then getting to the top, it was like, I never looked at it as the top. There's always another level. So as high as we got, I was like, looking forward to building more. But I love the challenge, man. I do. All of the ups and downs and, just the different things that come about and your ability to create a solution for the problem. Like, you know what I'm saying? I love that part. So it's hard to say because I really did. Like, the success, everyone loves that, flying around everywhere, doing all these things, but I'm never moved by that.
I got you.
I'm kind of grounded in that sense. Like, I'm just regular nigga. Like, I'm here. But I like the challenge of building and getting through those hurdles.
So was the challenge harder the more successful y'all got compared to y'all trying to become successful?
It never, the beginning part of the challenge is the hardest. The successful part is more of like, what do we say? Difficult takes a day, impossible takes a week.
Yeah.
When you're successful. When you at the top, impossible's a week. Anything crazy you couldn't believe, we figured it out in a week. We got you.
Nah, because I asked it because Kendrick said Dr. Dre told him, yo, the hardest part wasn't getting the success. The hardest part was keeping the shit.
Well, keeping it, that is, look, see, I don't look at that as life expectancy. We all gonna die.
Yeah. So
your career is gonna die too. It's just natural. It's the evolution of life. The new young kids is not gonna like what mommy and daddy like, right?
True.
So you can't. There's not one artist that ever kept it, but so long you could become iconic. But there's no one that's still impactful the way they was when they was popping when they first started. Not one, ever. So why would I look for that? I'm not looking for that. But you want to create a legacy, I'm sure. But so Dr. Dre is he's one of the ones. He is one of the ones. That's Irv's, as a producer, Irv's idol, like was Dr. Dre. That was a great day when they met. We went up to the Up in Smoke tour and they got to really like talk. And Dre flew us out, had us on all the tour. We going out with him. And
I know that tour was crazy.
so stupid.
You never smoked weed.
Guess
right?
what?
You smoked
I smoked before, but I'm not a smoker. No,
Okay.
I don't smoke.
Did they get you high snooping them?
No.
No.
For real? I never felt the highness from smoking. And I smoked.
I'm the same way, and I don't smoke.
I've tried to
smoke,
never felt the highness of it. Like
So
everyone says,
y'all just better humans.
no, I don't know. Maybe I'm not breathing right. No, maybe,
I'm on his
maybe
side.
I'm not
Maybe
breathing right.
Maybe not smoking this shit right. Oh.
Like I'm breathing it in, inhaling, blowing it back out,
right.
And then I would be regular. I'm like, what, like I'm waiting to see, and I never had no experience. But liquor give me fuck. I see with the brown over there.
Yeah, I didn't. You know, it's kind of early.
It's all good. I don't want.
You know, you got business to take care of. You got these sounding.
I do. I just went to the bathroom and pushed back my mean. For real, I'm running late, bro.
I got you.
It's all good though. I just gave myself another like hour on that meeting. They said no
that.
problem.
Thank you so much.
But yeah.
All right, so you being here after the whole trial, all that shit. If you could go back and talk to you and your brother when y'all was younger, like you still who you are though.
Yeah.
And you could go back and just bump into them and not tell them, yo, I'm the future y'all. What would you tell them?
Some Avengers shit.
Yeah, like what would you tell them? Like, hey, yo.
You know, people don't believe me. I have nothing. I would just say don't gamble. Watch your gambling. And when they raided our office, they had my gambling book. It's in the Daily News, everything. It's documented. 1.8 a week in gambling.
Damn.
You spent 1.8 a week.
I gambled. I ain't spend. It's a difference. I was gambling with 1.8 every week.
Got you.
We shut down bookies, everything. This is before FanDuel and all of this shit.
Right.
My bookie would fly in from LA literally with a bag of cash and drop it. And that's why in the trial, the snitch nigga Donnell Nichols, that's who it was, who snitched. He was like, yeah, they was bringing all this money in. Yeah, you fucking right. The Knicks won last night. Yeah, and I told my lawyers. I said, I can't deny this. But it all correlated with my bank account. See, unlike most people, we claimed our losses. So that means I can claim my wins too.
Yeah.
And it offsets on the balance sheet of your taxes. You understand?
Yeah.
My accountant would write GA on every check that we had to pay, because I didn't send the money in cash. I would pay. My bookie was like, give me a check, it's cool, we'll take it. Well, GA. What was GA?
Yeah.
Gamblers Anonymous. I promise you on everything. That's why I'm sitting here. That's part of the reason I'm here, because the feds could not believe I had records of all my gambling.
Everything, right.
We in a money laundering case. How do I explain millions of dollars going in and out? I just did. Here it is.
You was prepared.
You got my book. You got my book with my wins and losses, and you got my fucking checks with GA on it. Fuck their heads up. They couldn't believe it. They was like, no one does this. Yes, someone does it.
Yeah. Renzo got it.
Because if you really gambling, like I'm a real gambler. I manage Phil Ivey, the biggest gambler in the world right now, like today. Still. If you're a real gambler, you have to know where you're at. How do you know you up or down? When you're making so many bets like crazy.
So you indulge in like the FanDuels and all that stuff? No.
Again, I'm off that narcotic.
Yeah, you're part of a group, right?
I'm off that narcotic.
Got you. So anybody out there with gambling problems? Yes. Anybody out there with gambling problems? Make sure you call the number below.
Okay, so here's the
get yourself
reality. No, the reality is I don't get. See, Okay, let's go back. Bookies.
Yeah.
It's just a phone call when you set your line up. It's all on the arm, really. It's all credit. Yeah, give me a game for 100, 200, 1,000. You understand?
Yeah.
It's all there. And it goes both sides, meaning he knows I'm gonna pay and I know he's gonna pay. That's why I said I shut bookies down.
Yeah.
No bullshit. We closed down 2 bookies that was pissed they lost all their bread. But it was just losing all their bread took maybe 2 weeks because we betting so big.
1.8 million.
Crushed their bankroll. Now they out. But you know, when you live in that, and the reason I said I stopped, I still gamble. I still play craps. I mean, man, the shit I've done in the gambling world is bigger than
story,
fucking.
Right? It's bigger than music.
It's bigger than murder, nigga. You heard me? With me and Phil, the shit we did, iconic, nigga. It's just as big and valuable in that space. Like I did a crap tour. I owned with my partners. I don't want to say I only. I do that sometimes, and I got partners. CeeLo. Go ahead, say something.
CeeLo.
I own the game CeeLo, nigga.
You own it.
I ain't got nothing to say.
I'll show
Chameleon, you hear this, right, Chameleon? Because Chameleon be talking shit.
What are you talking about? He said what?
He said you'll be upset with him.
You'll be upset with me.
Why?
I play CeeLo.
Most niggas do.
You met your match, Chameleon.
What I'm saying is, so how do you own the game? We own the patent. The patent ran out. It was a 20-year patent. You heard me.
Oh.
Patents run out after 20. But we made the tabletop, all the rules. We had to go to game theory to get it, make sure that the odds are right, and we put it inside of Foxwoods Casino in Mississippi, like different casinos. So now, even though they didn't keep the game, that's the proof that it's mine. Aside from my patent running out, my tabletop. So if anyone wants it, let's go to a casino. I'm hoping Jay-Z get this casino in the city.
Yeah.
Cause then maybe, just maybe, Jay, Vito, you might take CeeLo for New York City, cause it is a New York City kind of game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
And then the ways you get paid is, just think of blackjack.
Mm-hmm.
You got all those blackjack tables. Let's use a simple number. It's $3,000 a table. This casino has to pay. Someone owns blackjack. Someone owns craps. Every game in the casino, someone owns that game. And the casino licenses it from them and pays for the game. So let's say let's use a simple number, 10. 3,000, that's 30,000 every month. The casino got to pay. Now, if you're really good and your game is beating the public, you can get a percentage of their profit off the game. You feel me? Now, there's another part to it. You created that tabletop because more than likely your patent is no longer because it ran out. But you own the tabletop of the way it looks, the design. That's your game, the blackjack game. Now, let's say there's a new blackjack game. What do they call? Let's say Spanish 21. You ever see that?
Yeah.
Someone came up with that. They add it in on top of your game and get a piece.
Gotcha.
Oh, shit.
I got you.
You understand?
Yeah,
so,
I got you.
like craps. I don't know if I'm a big craps player still to this day. You know what I'm saying?
What about you, Chameleon?
Nah,
Okay, cool. I'm just checking.
CeeLo.
Nah, craps is my game. But at the end of the day, craps, if you know the game, they have fire bets, which is if you hit all these many numbers, points before that 7 and out, you win X amount. They have all tall and small. These are different variations of the game that someone created on top of the person who owns the game craps. So you can get a piece now for your part. And they do the math and figure out how much money's coming from that and give you a piece. So, but again, every casino, now let's do the numbers. Like I said, 10, very light, because that's the number I'm looking for, 10 tables. And whether they're using the tables or not, they got to pay you for the table. So 10 tables, 30 racks, each casino. Now the job is to get into every casino. Like craps is. I mean, that's when I could be on the beach just chilling. You want to talk about passive income, nigga, there it is. I'm trying to get it, but it takes a lot of marketing dollars because people got to know the game exists. We did big tours to go, and we had good weekend turnouts, but, you know, the executives, they don't like that it's a black-owned business.
Of course not.
You know what I'm saying?
They
They don't like that it's a black business, and that's their reason for not wanting to fuck with it.
Right.
We don't want that audience.
But we in there regardless.
I'm gonna give you a quick story with Jay. He started 4040 in
Manhattan.
not Manhattan.
Oh, Atlantic City.
No. Vegas.
Vegas, yes.
At the Palazzo Hotel.
Yep.
I bring Phil to meet him. He just getting it opened up and everything. And Phil's like, "Where's the crap table?" Jay was like, "Man, we can't get no crap table here. We ain't got enough space." Phil looked around and said, "What? We could put one right here. There's enough space." He said, "They telling me they can't put one in there." Phil says, "I bet you I get one in here." Jay's like looking at me like, like, who the fuck is this nigga? Talking this shit like I didn't try to get it in here.
Right.
I said, "Phil, if he say he can get it in here, he gonna get it in here." I mean, Jay, if he say he gonna get it in here, he gonna get it in here. So they made a little light wager, a little stack. Phil calls Rob Goldstein, who's the CEO. In less than 20 minutes, they got the forklift with the casino putting the table right. Jay, Phil, where do you want it? You understand? Like we did some crazy shit, man.
I feel like
shout out Phil Ivey, man. One of one.
I feel like it won't be a problem for you to get CeeLo up in these casinos. That's time.
I'm telling you what the problem is. It's us.
Right.
They don't like that we own it, and then they're gonna tell you, we don't want your audience, your crowd in my casino. That's the reason. I'll tell it off here, but that's the reason that, let's say, Hove had an issue in Vegas.
Got you.
They didn't like the people.
Nah, you're right about that shit.
It wasn't that it wasn't going, it was they didn't want the people. Because you think casinos, you think high end. They don't want a bunch of niggas.
But what's crazy is that I was in Puerto Rico a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I went to the casino out there in San Juan.
Yeah.
And I was playing blackjack, and all I seen was us.
Yes.
More than Latin people. I seen nothing but us from different parts of the country up in there.
Here's probably the reality, like just knowing gambling. Asians are number one.
Yeah.
As far as gambling. I've been to Macau with Phil. If we're an average bet of $25 here, they're $500. Average bet.
Yep.
It's a big difference, bro.
Yep.
Again, gambling. If you don't understand gambling, how big of a difference that is. If you ever been on the crap table and they raise you from $15 to $25, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
Then from 25 to 50 is even bigger.
Big, man.
From 25 to 500 is ridiculous.
Yes. When I was in San Juan, I was sitting at the blackjack table. It was 5 of us at the table. One dude on black brother was on the right side of me. He had two hands, right? And then it was me, another black brother, then an Asian dude popped out with his girl, right? So I had put like maybe 25 down or something. I wound up, before the Asian guy came, I wound up winning like 300, right?
Yeah.
When he came and sat down, he was like, $1,000.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's different.
I don't want none of you at this table.
Yes, he wants to raise the
like, oh shit! I was like, you got it, bro. I'm out. $1,000, nigga.
Yeah.
I'm putting that on one hand.
That's what they do.
I understand what you're saying.
That gambling shit, I could do a whole thing on that gambling shit. But we did a ESPN covered us on a dice tour. I created a dice tour that was bigger than probably any tour I ever been on in music. And all I did was tour with Phil. We had to have at least a $1 million credit line at the casino, and we would get a discount on our losses. They would give us money for the private plane. We only flew private everywhere, so they would give us $80,000 to $100,000 every city. And we was just flying. We did 6 states in one day. That's how we're literally going in, gambling, and leaving. And if you know anything about flying, pilots have a 12-hour window to fly. So we had to do that in 12 hours. That's crazy.
See, this is rich people talk.
Yeah, this is different.
I don't even understand this shit.
This is different talk, bro. The gambling shit is a different animal, like I said. But you know, shout out Phil Ivey. He's looked at as the best poker player in the world. If you play poker, they call him the Tiger Woods of poker.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's a brother.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He's a brother from Philly. That's my man. We 23 years in now.
Damn.
All right, so we definitely have to do a part 2 at some point. I know you on your job with the this excellent fucking film, Ballin.
And the soundtrack, man. The soundtrack's amazing.
Who's on the soundtrack?
Lance. It's all the actors and my niece.
Lance rap?
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know Lance rap. My bad, Lance Stevenson.
Hey, you know what I tell everyone to see? He laughing, but I tell everyone don't put aside anything and just listen.
Wait, why are you laughing?
Not because he's saying it's Lance.
Yeah, the way you reacting to it.
Oh, all right. I thought you was laughing because he was whack. Nah, right? He got bars?
I wouldn't even fucking let him put it out.
I know you wouldn't. That's a fact. He made hits.
But, I reacted the same way when I first seen that nigga rap. I'm like, the fuck?
I'm not gonna lie. The way Lance portrays himself in the NBA and what just happened in the Big Three with him and Dwight fighting, I'm like, that's what I know Lance for, is playing ball hard and beating niggas up
crazy.
But nah, that's dope. So the soundtrack is out.
Soundtrack is out
on all streaming platforms.
Music, yes, all
Adventures. That's another thing. Adventures Music.
Facts.
That is the platform that all you artists, producers, curators, content creators, everybody needs to jump on. Pause. It will allows you to stream your music and all your content all around the world. You know, and even in the prisons.
In the prisons, that's right. JPEG.
That's how we, that's how we, you know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm an ambassador for Adventures Music. For y'all artists that know that, I'm an advisor for that.
He's on it as well. So that at the end of the day, I'm developing some new technology through the help of some of my team, and we're really gonna help you independent artists. I know I see all those other platforms out there and shit. I don't knock no platforms. I'm just doing what I do to help you guys.
Let me speak as someone who actually is using the service and have seen something, a great return from it.
Yeah.
So the main reason I use Adventures Music is because it allows you to upload your clean versions of music into the prison system, right? So
clean versions only. Prisons don't want all that crazy talk, bro.
Right. So I was able to upload music while I was in prison and when I came home from prison. And to this day, I still receive a residual income of 80% of a whole number. Not a stream, which is a quarter of a penny or a half a penny or whatever the case may be. I receive a residual income monthly based on a single being $1.99. I'm getting 80% of that. The JPay Adventures, they do what they do with the 20%. But I'm able to get 80% of that whole number.
Yeah.
That is the difference. You can upload your music on it, make sure the artwork is correct, make sure there's no parental advisory sticker on your artwork, stuff like that. And once you upload that music, it's there forever. As long as a prison is open, and if you're not in that market already, as long as it's open, you are going to receive a residual income if your music is fire, obviously.
Yeah.
So I suggest all artists and, like I said, content creators, producers to jump on Adventures Music. That's ADDVENTURES Music. Okay?
Oh man.
.com. Yeah. I do this for real. You know what I mean?
No, but you're right. Again, not seeing it have such great effects with some very limited artists that no one even knows, and they're actually able to pay their bills now, and you know what I'm saying, just from something they love, and that's to me a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Now, just let everybody know how to follow you, what to follow, what's coming up.
Well, make sure you go watch that movie Ballin', #1. I got another thing I wanted to talk about too, which is the CPL, which is my Clash Basketball Pro League.
Yes.
I started a professional basketball league for all them college players that didn't get overseas or get to the NBA. You got a home over here, right here in Harlem. You come out. So the CPL Clash, you can go watch us on all the platforms, and then you can follow me at Chris Gotti 187 on all social medias. That's where I'm at.
Well, Chris, thank you so much again for spending your time and energy with us. Appreciate you,
bro.
Thank you.
Make sure y'all follow all of that. You heard? Stop playing, like, share, subscribe, salute. We out.
We out here.